Distinguished panelists, dear participants, dear colleagues, I'm honored to join this panel of the International Forum of Urban-Rural Linkages, and I thank the organizers for the invitation. This forum is today more important than it could have been in the past. The times we are living are intense, challenging, and also exciting. They are asking us to think bold, to act efficiently, and measure our daily patterns of life. Today, we are confronted to the concept of the planetary dimension of our lives. If before the term global was having a meaning, today, with and while we are still moving forward from the pandemic, we have a consciousness about being all humans on one and only planet. For me, this is the biggest lesson got from the pandemic. We are united when confronting the planet challenges, and we are united in the way we are using the planet's resources. From this perspective, the urban structure of the planet has shown the potential of being a motor of sustainability, of making our life more conscious about the way we are unfolding it, our patterns of consumption and production, our mobility, our behavior with nature and ecosystems, our relationship with nature. And through the global agendas, this has been able to be implemented through this urban segment, this urban structure that is global. But because we are now conscious about the urban global structure, we have to take care and be more conscious about the rural globality and its ecosystems, not only as ecosystems for food, traditions, culture, and more, but also as life systems. This double global structure, rural and urban, is the one that will make our planet livable for the future generations, or not. We need to address both rural and urban not as a dichotomy, but as one entity, through the perspective of life systems, as a territory that encompasses our daily life patterns, human life, animal life, natural life, and its ecosystems. Again, this is about leaving a planet behind us as a global community. From my perspective, I have been working on intermediary cities from 2008 when joining the UNESCO Chair of Intermediary Cities, and then from UCLG when I understood that local authorities are the main channel from where we can act strongly and firmly on the territory, gathering all actors from an inclusive and participatory approach. The concept of life systems are the most solid concept we had as a conclusion from the first World Forum of Intermediary Cities. Enhancing the territorial dimension of this specific urban segment, allowing a double perspective from the city to its territory and interland. Last week, we just closed the second World Forum of Intermediary Cities of UCLG, built upon a previous consultation done in May 2021. And I would like to share with you some of the conclusions that could be useful for the conversations held in this very forum. But before that, allow me first to share with you all some key ideas resulting from the consultation. The COVID has generated a need, a request for a better quality of life from the citizenship. We need to reinvent democracy as a process to include the rural communities and indigenous communities. Secondly, the COVID has put on the table and made visible the inequalities gaps all over the world. No resilience will be possible if inequalities are still there, especially those that are laying on the rural and small cities. And third, the COVID has generated a will for changing our models of development as a global community. This is about being more conscious of our planet as well. Some countries did it during the COVID. Now this transformation is gaining momentum, and we need a new model of development that takes into account the ecosystems, nature, and a greener way of living. Global resilience has to be the key driver for any thought, any action and policy that will be developed. The climate emergency needs a territorial action that encompasses a balance between the urban and the rural as a yin-yang balance, a component of a one entity, integrating culture as a driver to this resilient balance. And this is how the World Forum of Intermediary Cities has been conceived, to draw the lines for a resilient post-COVID world. integrating a territorial approach through the life systems. Now, quickly, 4 key concepts that went out from the World Forum. First, there will be no resilience without intermediary cities implication because of their function of intermediation onto the territory and because of this rural-urban yin and yang balance that they can offer to the planet as one urban segment with small cities. Second conclusion, the world will need justice, climate justice, territorial water justice, reducing the inequalities. This is a sine qua non parameter if you want a restful, peace and resilient world post-COVID. This puts the rural-urban balance as a critical driver of the needed transformation. Third, the concept of care must be at the heart of the new models of development to be generated, in particular for caring economies, that takes into account migration, minorities, and women's legitimacy to take its responsibility in this new world, but also nature and our relationship with it, more careful with life and its ecosystems. Fourth, the human dimension of transformation. We are living a transformation that cannot be put aside. And this human dimension needs to be a key driver to a renewed social contract between the governance, multi-level governance, and the citizenship. Generating a new ethic of governance will be key to keep a legitimacy while enhancing the human self-responsibility and autonomy. We need a global governance for resilience through and from the territorial action to allow all actors to join this global resilience action. There is a lot more to share, but please don't hesitate to go to our Kutayas declaration on the UCLG website to see how this new rural-urban yin and yang are to be playing a key role in our close future. And we need to set this from today. I hope these words were useful, and we at UCLG stay at your disposal should any of these concepts need to be further developed. We are currently also developing in UCLG a pact for the future through 3 components: people, planet, and governance. We will be delighted to nurture the construction of this pact by the results of this international forum. We are expecting a lot from these conversations, and we thank you for the organization. Wishing you fruitful deliberation, and thank you.